All right, you are live. It's sold out Giant Stadium where today the 15-0 New York Giants are taking on the 0-15 Dallas Cowboys. Why the Dallas Cowboys 0-15? They suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here? I greatly appreciate it. We're going to go about 30 minutes once again. Got a lot to talk about. Anybody, hey, feel free to drop anything in the chat there. I check on it every now and then. Somebody leaves something in the chat, I got something to respond to. But anybody spend any time at all watching this, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. As I said, we got a lot to talk about here. One I actually saw. Now, of course, this is going to, Odell Beckham Jr., hints at a Giants return. Now, the thing is, when, obviously with the old regime, I don't have nothing to do with Judge. I think it had a little something to do with Gettleman, Gettleman, the Giants signed Odell Beckham Jr. to a nice, juicy deal, this, that, and the other thing. And then I guess at one of press conferences or something, one of the reporters asked Gettleman about, you're going to trade Odell Beckham, or whatever. And Gettleman's like, yo, we didn't sign him to trade him. And like about a week later, he got dealt. So, I mean, I think that obviously, that let the little sour taste in Odell Beckham Jr.'s mouth. The team that drafted him just kind of signed him and just dealt him. So, I think as long as Gettleman was here, I don't think there would have been any type of reunion whatsoever with Odell Beckham. Now, obviously, he's lost a step, because, we did draft him, quite a few years ago. Sometimes it almost seems like just like yesterday we drafted him. But, he's I don't know what it is in the water with the Giants and their wide receivers. We wind up drafting, first rounder Kadarius Toney gets injured. Sterling Shepard, second rounder, gets injured. Odell Beckham Jr., first rounder, gets injured. It's like the guys we draft, and they just get injured. Odell's been injured a lot. Obviously he wouldn't, demand a lot of money, but the Giants don't have a lot of money. The Giants have other pressing needs, but if the Giants were going to think about any type of reunion with him, it would be very tight with the money. The Giants don't have a lot of money right now, but the way the Giants losing receivers kind of almost like left and right. But the Giants did actually unbelievably. I don't know. The football gods were looking down at the Giants, but Giants actually got some good news today on the injury front. So, but they got this NJ.com. All right. We got Odell Beckham Jr. Of course, anything you hear anything at all, and you put it in put it in print, and people start reading it, and then idiots like me read it, and I put it in print on my video, trying to, I guess, hope attract some views or some attention, whatever. But NJ.com, could Odell Beckham Jr. be coming back to New York? ? An Instagram comment from the wide receiver seems to allude to the possibility. Beckham was replying to a comment that read, "Come back to New York. We need you ASAP. No Rocky." I'm not sure what that means, but Beckham wrote back, that was, and then he put fire emojis. "We'll see. I do miss my damn squad. Wanted to win a ring for that city." So, and all that stuff aside, that, he's a competitor. The man wants to play, man wants to win. You gotta love him for that. Beckham was a 3-time Pro Bowler for the Giants from 2014 to 2018. Pretty much the only times he wasn't a Pro Bowler is when he got hurt. He got hurt quite a bit. Beckham, who played recently for the Browns and the Rams, he's a free agent. Wide receiver tore his ACL in his left knee in the second quarter of the Rams' victory in the Super Bowl. All right. And at least, thankfully, the man got himself a Super Bowl ring. Good for him. At the time, Beckham was on his way to a monster game. Well, He had 2 receptions for 52 yards and the game's first touchdown. I can't say it was a monster game, but he was on his way to a very nice game. It's not the first time that Beckham social media activity has alluded to a team he wants to join. A couple weeks back, let's see, he screenshotted from the Bills' Von Miller Instagram suggesting the Bills could be a match with Von Miller. So one is an edited post of Miller's story of Beckham in a Bills jersey. Ooh, wouldn't it? Could you frickin' imagine that? Odell Beckham Jr. out there running around with Josh Allen firing the ball to him. Wow. And then Von Miller out. Oh, wow. I'll tell you, wow. That would be scary. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I don't see it happening. The Giants, the Giants actually got some good news today as far as their wide receivers. So, all right. But, the Giants do have other pressing needs. They don't have a lot of money. And, they're getting a little thin on the offensive line. They just signed a tight end today, but they're still not really, have a ton of experience or whatever with the tight ends. They could use some cornerback help, so for them to go out and get a luxury of a wide receiver like Odell Beckham Jr., I'll tell you what, he'll fill the stands. I can tell you that much without question. But, I think the Giants could wind up spending their money a little bit wiser, okay, than possibly, signing Odell Beckham Jr., But then we have the Giants and the Jets, okay? They had their joint practice today, which is just in time for their preseason game, which the final preseason game for both teams, which will be Sunday, all right, at MetLife Stadium, and the Jets are the home team. I know. And that'll be I tell you what, guys, there's Thursday, got Friday, Saturday, 3 more days, and just like that, preseason's over with. I don't know if it's like me. I mean, when you get older, time flies by faster. But I'll tell you what, it's absolutely unbelievable. 3 more days and preseason is over with. And then we got basically 2 weeks and you got the regular season starts. Absolutely unbelievable how fast time flies by. Simply amazing. And we got, all right, so we got the news here from the Giants-Jets practice, all right. This one is from Big Blue View. All right, they got a bunch of good articles here. The Giants head coach Brian Daboll was optimistic Thursday morning that the midday practice against the Jets would not turn into a UFC bout. They had one in 2005, wound up being like an all-out frickin' brawl. So I think they put the two teams have shelved their joint practices since then, 17 years. So it was an all-out brawl. I mean, obviously today everything went okay, pretty much. There was only like one little incident, if you want to call it that. But I'll tell you what, that was. I remember hearing about it, and I mean, I don't remember seeing any videos of it or anything like that. But I do remember reading about it online, and it was quite an event. Quite an event. So, I mean, to hear everything kind of went off without a hitch today is pretty good to see. All we're trying to do is get better, Daboll said before heading out to practice. We're not looking to go out there and fight. And there weren't any fights. There was some hard-hitting line play, some thumps, and a scare when Jets defensive lineman John Franklin Myers got pushed into Daniel Jones's leg. Yeah, forcing the quarterback to fall over backwards. All in all, though, both sides appeared to get good work out of the 90-minute practice at the Quest Diagnostic Training Center. Both sides acted professional, said Jets coach Robert Saleh after the practice. We both understood we were out there to make each other better. here to compete and make each other better, said Giants defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence. The big defensive tackle did admit that it was nice that I got to beat up on some other people. Boy, I tell you, I'm happy they picked up his 5th-year option, and I hope they pay the frickin' dude some money and we keep the guy, because that's one thing the Giants need to start doing is, and it's so tough because you got these new regimes coming in, new coaches and all, are just acquiring these guys that they have no ties to, and they just start letting them go left and right. The Giants need to start signing some draft picks, whether they, with the regime, they came with the team, whether Dable and Shane drafting them or whatever. They got to start signing guys and start getting some pieces of the puzzle in place, and so you can start building a team moving forward. And I know it's impossible, especially with the way the NFL is nowadays, to go out there and, draft your defense and then just be able to sign everyone, to long-term deals, get guys that are that good and being able to sign, draft 3 solid, great cornerbacks and pay each cornerback $15 to $20 million, and then draft 2 edge rushers. I mean, like what the Giants did with Ojulari and Thibodeau, and everybody stays healthy. And then I've said, when Ojulari wants 15 to 20 million a year, and then Thibodeau wants 20 to 25 million a year, and you're going to pay Dexter Lawrence maybe 15 million or whatever. And then you got the cornerbacks and paying them 15, 20. It's just not the way it is anymore. But that's because the NFL wants parity. You can only pay so many guys so much money, and then you got to fill the roster in with a bunch of 6th and 7th rounders, who only make like about $1 million a year. So it's very, very tough. But the Giants need to start signing some of the draft picks, right? I said you're not going to be able to sign on your defense. Just say you're not going to be able to go in there and sign 11 guys and pay everyone a full salary. 15 to 20, $25 million. That just can't happen. But you want to get, some pieces to the puzzle. Now, if you got 11 guys on defense, obviously you got, it's more than 11. I mean, it's not the way it was back in the day, when I started growing up. You had 4 defensive linemen, just say 4-3, right? You had 3 linebackers, you had 2 cornerbacks, 2 safeties. Boom, that's the way it was. You had 11 guys. That's not the way it is anymore. Now you got 3 defensive linemen, maybe, right? You got your 2 edge rushers. You might have 1 or 2 linebackers, and you might have 2 safeties. You might have 3 cornerback. So you got, you're looking at more than 11 guys on defense, obviously. But, out of the 11 or 12 guys that you're looking at on defense, if you can get 5 or 6 core guys, maybe 2, 1 on a defensive line, maybe 2 on a defensive line, but 1 or 2 edge rushers, you got to get it. Maybe it's like Xavier McKinney, right? Draft if you can get 1 or 2 cornerbacks, get 5 or 6 guys locked in to a nice long